All right, everyone. Steve Metrics here with your boy.
DJ Triggs, there I am. All right,
There
I
he
just had
is.
to make sure I was still there.
Yes, sir. And we are NODB8SPORTS here on kind of the back end of August, pretty much the second to last real week before the season starts. And
Right.
getting in our fantasy draft this upcoming Sunday. So pretty pumped for that. And definitely starting to see some things form out. Definitely the running back position, I mean, especially for our league, is incredibly valuable. And I think just in general, running back is a highly important position. And I understand if you're in a smaller league, like the crazy big end wideouts, they definitely score a lot of points. But at the end of the day, if you have Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, James Cook, Jonathan Taylor, those guys are getting it done. They're going to get you way more points, way more consistently.
Now, if I read this correctly, is it more points for touchdowns or receiving touchdowns than rushing touchdowns? Did I read that right?
Yeah, that's exactly how our league is working. We're definitely having more points for receiving touchdowns to make it so that way receivers and tight ends can kind of bridge the gap and kind of make it so it is more fair against the running back position. So I really enjoy that for our league. To me, it's always made sense that if passing touchdowns are 4 points, rushing touchdowns are 6. To me, receiving touchdowns are even harder to come by, then I think those should truly be 8. And I think it makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, I'm not completely against the idea. There's a lot of weird things that I get to see and touch and then read, and then I'm like, oh wait, does that make sense for what we're doing? I don't know.
Right. So yeah, and I've been watching the ticker go by for some news in the NFL, and two interesting things happened today that I definitely think kind of changed the value of some guys. One is Von Miller signing with the Dallas Cowboys. I like that move. I think Dallas is set up to have a really strong team this year. The other thing that I just caught wind of that kind of shocks me is Chicago Bears Kyle Monanganai, the kind of goal line specialist, hyperextended his knee today. That matters. He's a good player. I like watching him play, but now to me, this jacks up DeAndre Swift's fantasy value even more because he's going to be, he's definitely going to be taking more touches. This is a team that's going to have a very dynamic offense. If they run the ball, it's going through him, man. That's really how it's gonna happen. We'll see how it shows up for the backup behind Monanganai, but he's definitely going to be the guy. They're going to work their way downfield, especially with multiple tight ends. Roman Dunze and Luther Burden, that's their method to work their way downfield. But I think DeAndre Swift's value went up significantly today.
Don't tell too many people that. You know, that was like my secret goat last year.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Completely understandable. And I mean, especially in a world where, you know, we're talking about passing for running backs and things like that. Like, he doesn't catch a lot of balls, but at the end of the day, like, he had 30 receptions last year. That number could maybe shoot up to, 40, 45, which would get him in a good class. You would talk about ETN, Barkley, Stevenson, guys in that realm of catching the ball, which is pretty significant. Now, obviously, that's not going to put you up there with like Bijan, Gibbs, Genty, things like that. But who knows?
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I'll be honest, when you're looking at a guy like DeAndre Swift, he's definitely a pretty valuable running back, in my opinion. I think trying to look here where he's going about, DeAndre Swift is, exactly like you're saying, around the Travis Etienne, Bashal Tootin, Quinshot Judkins. Yeah, DeAndre Swift is definitely around there, and I would easily take him ahead of Judkins and possibly even like a Cam Scatterbo, maybe.
I'm actually trying to find some rankings right now, and that's my hardest thing to do right now is try to find some
Right,
rankings. What is going on here? Someone
exactly.
give me rankings. Uh,
Right. Yeah,
yeah, man,
and
he is really low.
yeah, I think it's too low. The fact that his average draft position in our league is kind of around 50. Um, I
I mean,
would. Oh man.
the four-letter network has him ranked 23rd amongst running backs.
Oh, that's yeah. Our sleeper app has him at 24, and
Man,
I don't think he's that low. I think
that
he's kind of to me closer to 20. And
but
I mean, I'm looking at some guys here like Bucky Irving. Don't trust that. Kenneth Walker. No way, man. That's definitely not a guy I would put any faith in. Jeremiah Love. Oh my gosh, that guy's way too high.
Yeah, they
Um,
have him super, super high. A lot
yeah,
of places do. And I mean, yeah, he could definitely maybe do some things. I don't want to put him that high because that's kind of an insane number. Uh,
yeah,
I'm actually looking back at what James Conner did last year.
right. I mean, and not only that, like they stink. Arizona Cardinals are going to be a bad, bad football team. I mean, they're going to kind of position themselves in the right direction. I think, especially when the day comes and they say, you know what, Carson Beck, go. Um, but they have a bruiser of a schedule. It is just murderer's row. I don't see too much offensive production going through it. Plus, that division is highly, highly defensive. You got 6 games against the rest of those bunch, and it's going to be tough. So yeah, I wouldn't be too excited with a guy like Jeremiah Love. Um, yeah, so I mean, I'm just kind of looking at this. Guys like him, I heard Brees Hall went down today. Take him off the list. Again, Kenneth Walker, I think, is the most overhyped running back going into a season possibly ever. I think he's going to have a terrible season, just
Am
terrible.
I
I would not touch Kenneth Walker at all.
am I losing my mind right now? Like I literally did James Conner not play last year, or am I just losing it? Because I am not able to find this guy's stats.
Yeah, Connor got hurt early.
Yeah,
Or
I know that, but like I thought he at least played. Oh, maybe. All right, I thought he played more than 5 games, and apparently I was wrong. He
I
only
think it
played
was like
three.
3. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. 3. That's exactly what I was thinking. So yeah, I mean, it's just kind of coming to an end. He's had a nice career, especially for what he overcame early in his career, which is incredibly impressive. Good guy, blue collar guy for sure. But
no,
now you're on a team that has Jeremiah Love and Tyler Algier. You're not
and
getting much.
that's the thing with Love is like he's gonna have to give some carries away. They've already talked about trading Benson. I want to say Trey Benson.
Oof.
Um, maybe because he's going to be the third or fourth guy out at that
Yeah,
point. Same with Connor, who could be a cut candidate. Um, yeah, the entire, and this includes quarterbacks, running backs, and receivers. The Cardinals ran for only 1,500 yards as an entire team last year.
yeah, and they're not going to be leading in many games.
No,
I caught wind of their first team defense, and I caught wind of my first team defense with my Raiders game against the Cardinals. Both teams have miserable defenses, at least right now. And the Cardinals are not going to be leading in too many football games. They're going to give up a boatload of points.
yeah,
So they're not going to be running the ball much. And also, Jeremiah Love's workload is now going to double. Like, if you're playing the games in the regular season now, it's almost twice as many games as you just played last season.
yeah.
It's an intense workload, especially going from end of the season to combine workouts or training for the combine, doing the combine, pro day workouts, and then OTAs, and then train. It's a massive workload that guy's got. I just really don't think There's going to be too much to really run the ball. I mean, there's definitely even a running back that I see ranked around 100 that it's crazy to think he's a backup running back because the guy ahead of him is going to pull his hamstring like at any given moment in time, and that's Jordan Mason. Aaron Jones is done, like done. Jordan Mason is going to take the bull by the horns and go. It's crazy to me that he's in my eyes, he truly is now a starting running back, and you can get him around 100. That's insane. Just absolutely insane. I think he's a great steal. I had him 2 years ago when McCaffrey went down, and he was insane. Just absolutely insane. I think he's in a good franchise that, again, they're going to focus more. Defenses are going to focus more on Kyler Murray. So that really opens up things for Jordan Mason. I think he's in a great spot.
Now, speaking of Kyler Murray, though, like, what do we think about him in like quarterback rankings? How do you feel about him?
Yeah, I definitely like him closer to. It's weird. I mean, like draft day, he could be around 20, but come around by the end of the season, he might jump up to somewhere in like borderline top 10.
Yeah, because looking at it, do I trust Kyler Murray to get me better? I'm looking at him. He's like 16, 17-ish.
Right.
Like, I would trust him more than Matthew Stafford in fantasy, not in real football.
Right.
In complete fake football, right? Brock Purdy's, Patrick Mahomes, like Justin Herbert. I'm going to take him just because he can run. Maybe past Trevor Lawrence. Dak Prescott's going to give you big passing numbers.
Totally.
But I might take him past him. Like, I feel like he could be in that Jalen Hurts-ish area.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, nowadays when we look at how fantasy football is scored, I have a hard time taking a quarterback that doesn't run. I don't know about you. I just kind of can't, because if my quarterback doesn't get it done throwing the football, and there's going to be days you play it against tough secondaries. I mean, I tell you what, like I'm really not too keen on drafting Patrick Mahomes, Fernando Mendoza, or Bo Nix, because you do have to play that Charger secondary twice throughout the season, unless by some magical way you hit them in week 18. But that Charger secondary is the best secondary in defense that I watched last season. No one can throw on them. No one.
And Denver's not too bad in itself, like
that too. Yep. Patrick can. Guys shut down Devontae Adams every game.
That's tough.
That's tough, man. So pretty impressive stuff there. Yeah, you got two teams in that division. So yeah, like Mahomes or Mendoza, you're definitely gonna eat 4 games throughout the season. You better know the schedule, know your fantasy schedule. That's a tough ask, and I know it's not the craziest. I mean, Mendoza very much has low draft value. Mahomes kind of has borderline high value. But those other things you got to think of is, okay, what was the best secondaries in the NFL last season? Well, if they both wind up in your division, you probably don't want quarterbacks who play against those guys frequently. So that's just kind of a weird thing to keep an eye out for.
I don't even see Mendoza in the top 25.
And to be honest, I like it, because that's something you can get real value on. And I mean, I've seen him play at Indiana, and I just saw him play a little bit against Arizona. He's got a little bit of Josh Allen in him. So he can definitely carry the rock. He can make some plays with his legs. He can spin the ball on an absolute top. He can thread a needle. I think he's got a real nice, promising future in this league. And it's something that I like too, where I think the more that he plays and he really starts to make defenses think twice about him, then that really opens up things down the line for Ashton Jeanty. So I think in fantasy, the real beneficiary of this is Ashton Jeanty. And Genty's value throughout the season is going to increase. Also, we have a backup behind Jeanty. I think the guy's name is something Washington. And kid you not, the guy runs like Derrick Henry. It's crazy. He gets out to open space. He's fast, and then he just runs just like Derrick Henry runs, and he can do the stiff arm. Pretty scary stuff. So if you get Jeanty, I think this guy would be an excellent handcuff to get.
If I'm not mistaken, Mike Washington, Arkansas?
Arkansas, yeah. He's nuts.
When did you guys draft him? Let me go find that.
I think round 4.
You are correct, sir. Round 4.
I was hearing good things about him too. I was like, whoa. Like,
I think really? I got excited for you when that draft pick. Maybe we can go back in the archives and find that. Right. But I think I was excited for you.
Totally. And that's a guy that, I mean, you really have a real backup running back, or even a guy, if anything were to happen to Jeanty, this would be the guy, and he could do his thing. I think he's rock solid, and he's got a little razzle dazzle about him, especially if he gets to open space. So I even like it too. If you got weeks where like these guys can both kind of tee off against the defense, either of them can get you probably a 50+ run play in just one play. So that's pretty cool.
Here's the crazy part about fantasy football, right?
Yep.
So they're projecting Jeanty and Jeremiah Love to have the exact same stats.
Oh,
and I'm like, I don't believe that in my heart of hearts right now.
I think Jeremiah Love would be lucky to have almost half the stats.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me just being, off the top of my head, but like, Jeanty was near 1,000 yards, right?
Oh yeah. And Jeremiah
975
ankle sprain. I mean, you watch the way he runs; it's kind of weird, man. Jeremiah Love's like, I think in the future when they have a real quarterback and they got real threats to throw the ball to, this is going to be a real team. I mean, they already got some good-looking things. They got a kind of good-looking offensive line. I just don't think Jacoby Brissett, and I think Marvin Harrison might be a failure. They got some real question marks on offense besides quarterback and running back, which is bizarre, and tight end. They just have no real legit wide receivers. They need to get somebody with some size. There was a guy that I did see in the Raider game that caught like this one-handed pass, kind of Devontae Adams style, and just kind of ripped it out of the air. That guy looks good, and he caught it from Carson Beck. So should they kind of shake things up, that might be a guy. So if Carson Beck is going to take over for Brissett and you need a wide receiver, that might be a guy. That might be a total low-end waiver pickup that could really develop into something.
Yeah. I was just looking at Jeanty's stats. So he combined for 10 total touchdowns, 975 on the ground, 7th in carries in the NFL. Also had 73 targets in the air. Like those stats are pretty ridiculous. Like,
those are ridiculous. I like Love, but I don't know about the receiving side. But this isn't the year for Love. I don't even know if next season is either. 2 years after this season, I think so. But the fact that he's going right after Saquon Barkley, I kind of compare him to Saquon Barkley, but I think Jeremiah Love, in terms of value, I think he's like in the mid to low 20s for running back.
Yeah.
I would not touch this guy as the 12th best running back in fantasy football. He's not.
Another guy that's going pretty high is Omarion Hampton. Like, they've got him projected top 10, and like coming off an injury like he had, like, was he special in certain moments? Yes. But then coming off that injury, like, again, you named Saquon. He's in that same area. I'm not taking him over Saquon in any way, shape, or form. You know what I mean?
Oh, I think I would.
Really? Right now?
Yes.
Even
Yes.
from the injury?
Yes. I like him coming a year out from the injury. And again, too, like when I really look at running backs in fantasy, besides Derrick Henry, I want running backs that are behind quarterbacks that are a massive threat. So I want to know that the defense is scheming hard against the quarterback first and foremost, and then the running back is an afterthought.
Right. I get that.
Yeah.
But at the same token, like Saquon's a guaranteed 50 catches, a guaranteed 1,000 yards, a guaranteed like 10 touchdowns. That, like, you know, that's going to come. Hampton, you're not sure if he's fully healthy, if he's going to split carries. Like Saquon's not splitting carries with anybody. Like,
Yeah.
and if you're going to get someone at 10, you know he's going to give you top 10 numbers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad because where I draft, I won't have to deal with either of these guys. These guys are not guys that I'm picking ahead, and they are guys, they're going to be long gone by the time I pick again. Also, Mike McDaniels, he has guys that every time, I mean, he's had guys running for him in Miami. He's had the best running backs in the NFL, which is pretty slick. Omari and Hampton, though, is different. He's got more to me of a Derrick Henry kind of style about how he runs. His tape at North Carolina looked great. And again, it was the injury. That was the only thing that's sidelined this guy. Other than that, this guy's a massive threat. I just think he is definitely on the team that is primed to air the ball out, and you have to think about it. And they've definitely kind of fortified that offensive line. And I think Omari and Hampton is one of those running backs where he's going to really benefit from everyone else having to defend the pass. There's just so much going on with that Charger offense that I think it's really going to open up the lanes for Omari and Hampton. But again, I don't have to deal with it. I just feel at the end of the day, by the time we hit the end of the season, I firmly think this is the best team in the AFC West. I'd kind of have to see the schedule again. This might be the best team in the AFC.
Oh no! Oh like, no! Don't do that! Don't do that to me.
Like this is a loaded team, and again, the secondary, you can't throw on these guys. You just can't. So, and Jim Harbaugh teams, Harbaugh teams in general, they just keep getting better each and every season. So I think you really got good things with the Chargers. But for me in fantasy, there's only been about two guys I'm really looking at between Omari and Hampton and Ladd McConkey. I mean, that's fantasy, but I just think top to bottom, I think this is a great team.
All right. You know, I'm a Justin Herbert hater because they always compare him to Jordan Love and they have like the exact same numbers. And then they're like, Justin Herbert's so much better. And
that's not true. Yeah,
I don't think so either. Like, and it just drives me up a wall. But at the same time, not only can this guy not win in the playoffs, but on top of that, they might barely have 2 wins after 10 weeks.
That's the other weird thing. I mean, we've gone through this, and it's
Their schedule's nuts.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. This schedule is. I mean, I know. Oh man. Yeah.
So for the people watching along, so they have Arizona and Vegas right out of the gate. So okay, 2 wins. Let's just say, and that might not even be that easy, right? Then they have at Buffalo, at Seattle, Denver, at Kansas City, at the LA Rams, Houston, and at Baltimore. Like they might not win another game for 10 weeks. Like and then then you get the Jets, so you get to cool off a little bit.
Yep.
By the way, still haven't I don't know. Maybe like you beat the Jets, then you go play New England, at Tampa, at Vegas, San Francisco. Who knows if you win another game?
Right. Yeah, it's kind of a tough stretch. Yeah, it's interesting. It does make me double think how much we really want to go with LA.
Oh,
If they
I
were
don't
to
want to go
win
with
it,
LA ever.
yeah,
Never, ever in the history of life.
yeah. I mean, they're definitely going through a really, really tough stretch. Yeah, I mean, it's just at the end of the day, I mean, I'm just kind of glad that I'm not going to really touch any of these players. This could go great or it could go off the rails fast,
Real quick.
really, really fast.
And then people will come after us and say that we're haters again, and it'll just be a whole ball game.
Yeah, I get it. But I'll tell you this. I mean, in terms of fantasy, am I going to put him, especially after we saw that schedule? Am I going to put Justin Herbert ahead of Caleb Williams and Trevor Lawrence? I don't think so, man.
Never.
I think I would take both those guys because I know their offenses are more stable. And I know those guys are kind of more, in a way, threatening to at least advance their teams downfield and get some wins and get some real quality wins and not have that kind of murderer's row schedule that the Chargers have.
Yeah. There's nothing about Justin Herbert that I ever want to like pick up on. But somehow, some way, every year, like he is put up there with the upper echelon of quarterbacks. And I'm gonna go try to find some stats just so I don't sound like a complete jerk. But yeah, I don't know. A top 10 quarterback is kind of nuts to me.
Yeah, it's kind of bizarre, and yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, it is kind of bizarre. I mean, you're really whenever you pick him, depending on your league size, he better deliver because if he doesn't, and you gave up that round to draft him, your team can't recover that round ever. And I think that brings up something good in fantasy that I've kind of noticed over the years, especially nowadays, that when you commit to a quarterback, I think you really have to understand, is this quarterback better than every running back that has been or that remains? Are they better than every wide receiver and every tight end? I think if you check off those three boxes, then you take your quarterback. If you're concerned in any way that like you need to fill out your team, then I would not touch the quarterback. And again, too, this guy's been in the league 2 years. I had him last season. I think he's phenomenal. I think he's definitely one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL now. Drake May. I feel miles more confident in Drake May than I do Justin Herbert in terms of fantasy and real football.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I would not be against that idea.
Yeah. So that's one that I see that I think is a gimme. You know you're going to get the passing yards. You'll know you're going to get the rush yards as well. And again, too, the schedule lines up real nicely for Baltimore for a significant amount of starting the season. I think Lamar Jackson is going to be great. I think he's a great one to go for. I think Derrick Henry sets up really nicely as well. And even too, their tight end. Isaiah Likely is gone from this team. So Mark Andrews is now the guy there. I think Mark Andrews' tight end value should be significantly higher than it previously has been. And again, too, the guy's been in kind of the spotlight in like clutch times, and he's kind of let everyone down. But if you really think about it, Mark Andrews is like a top 5, top 4 tight end. With the way the schedule lines up, the way the season lines up, I think Andrews can be an excellent tight end that you get some real value out of.
I agree. I'm sorry, I got locked in on Justin Herbert and trying to find out where he finished last year.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it wasn't in the top 10. 10.
Sure.
He was just outside of the top 10.
Okay.
But I agree with Likely going to the Giants, right?
Yes.
With Hardball. Yep. I actually think he might have some value compared to Mark Andrews, who's already had value. Like, that's not a bad idea to try and scoop in on one of those guys.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, not everybody's going to be able to get Trey McBride or Tucker Kraft. especially if you're in Wisconsin, like you're going to pick Tucker Kraft, right? I'm looking at him. He's a number 9 tight end in the rankings right now. Obviously, the injury might set him back a couple, but if you get a guy in a normal 10 or 12 team, situation, you could pick him and then go get a Likely or a Mark Andrews or someone like that. Arande Gadsden, I really like. That might be the only Chargers player I actually touch.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was actually looking at Tucker Kraft the other day and thinking about, all right, cool. If I do draft Tucker Kraft, where do I draft him? How does it fall into place? What happens if he goes down? What's my backup plan behind that? The other thing, too, is his backup is also hurt. So you have 2 guys who are both kind of hurt at tight end on the same team, which is a little concerning because
we don't even really have one.
Value. What?
We kind of don't have a backup tight end right now.
Right. So you do have to, in fantasy at that point, you have to value tight end highly again. So that's where I think the value of Tucker Kraft for me is not there. And again, too, I mean, I'm kind of eyeing there's 3 rounds that I'm looking at tight end. And one of those rounds, depending if I hit the other 2 rounds, then I can pass on the other. I can either pass late or I can pass early on tight end. That's kind of how I'm lining it up. And I'll be honest, I think there's really good tight ends that you can get somewhat early, but I also think there's really good tight ends that you can kind of get in the middle and right at the end of the draft. Right at the end of the draft. Like there's guys out there. There's actually a guy out there on a team who's a backup guy I played with last season, completely undrafted. But if I needed a tight end late, I would be very hard pressed to let him go. And that's Eric Tonjes behind George Kittle. I think if George Kittle goes down, I think he's done. And I think Tonjes, I've seen the guy play. Guy scored me a touchdown every week that I started him. Tonjes absolutely delivered. I think he's great. I think he's probably Brock Purdy's most reliable passing option beyond Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle. This is great, man. I am shocked that he is so low in the rankings just because he's behind George Kittle. I think that's I just don't think that's right. I think Tonjes, I mean, for a guy with that kind of value, if he were to truly just start the season top to bottom, he'd be a top 5 tight end easily.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, maybe a team that's in need of a tight end trades for him. Who knows? Anything can happen. Now, the biggest problem I have with tight ends, if you don't get one of the top 4, I'm talking Trey McBride, Brock Bowers, Kittle, or even Tucker Kraft in that sense, everyone after that is within 2 points of each other. So it's almost just like a horse apiece, whoever you get. Kyle Pitts, Goddard, Laporta, Bannon, like Kelsey's still in there. Tyler Warren's in there. Like
I like the one to me that I think brings massive value right now, because this team virtually lost all of its starting wide receivers.
The Colts. Yeah. Is that who you're going with?
Actually, yeah, that's actually another team that kind of has weird starting wide receiver stuff that I didn't even think about. But yes, Tyler Warren's one of my favorites, and we'll go back to him. But yes, he's one for that reason. And I actually have Warren like very high. I have Warren actually as the 3rd best tight end in the game. But the other one, and this is a guy you like, Jawan Johnson. Jawan
Johnson, yeah.
There's no starting wide receivers on the Saints who are healthy now.
Yeah,
like Chris Olave, he always gets hurt, and Jordan Taylor from Arizona State, he is out for at least the next 2 months. Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. And at first, I thought it was like a minor hamstring thing, and he'd be ready. No, it's bad. It is the full blown like nasty, awful hamstring where like you barely can walk, and the thing is, it's gone. It's the hamstring's virtually gone at this point. So it's going to take him months to recover. And the fact that he's a rookie, I don't know, man. They might even just shelve him because He is a rookie, and I'll be honest. I think Kellen Moore and Tyler Shuck, they're going to figure it out. Like this is a good quarterback with a good head coach. I enjoyed watching their games last season. I think they're going to figure it out. You'll get Chris Olave back. You got Juwan Johnson. Between Kamara and ETN, you have a nice running back crew. So you got somebody who's going to run the wheel routes really nice. They will put in other wide receivers, and they'll make this work.
They might be the sneaky team to pick for the NFC South.
Woo! We'll be talking about that in a week or so.
I'm just throwing that out there. Throwing that out.
I've seen other people say it, and I'll be honest, I think they're a top to bottom solid team. And if you're only concerned about wide receivers, I think you might be okay.
Yeah. So I was looking at tight ends. Literally only 8 tight ends caught 70 balls or more. And Trey McBride's the only one that went over 100 catches and 1,000 yards. So, right. I mean, you're kind of set if you get Trey McBride, but everybody else, whatever.
Right. And really the main thing with a tight end is you're asking them on the week that you start them, just score me a touchdown. That's it. Like that. And isn't that kind of where you're at with the majority of wide receivers anyways? So if you can get a tight end to score a touchdown, they've done their job. That's it. For me, a guy like Theo Johnston, he was the guy that I really liked last year. But again, now that Isaiah Likely is there, I think this drops the value on both of them. I'm a little concerned on that. Going back to Tyler Warren real quick, the thing that I like about Warren, and you do get this a little bit with Isaiah Likely, we've seen him run it in Baltimore. If you have a tight end who can run the football, that also gets you a few sneaky fantasy points. And Warren can run it. Warren can play like full-blown fullback. So that's another thing that you can see with certain tight ends. And if they try to do the tush push kind of thing, I know Isaiah Likely runs it. Mark Andrews runs it. Possibly one of the Buffalo Bills tight ends might do it every now and then if Josh Allen doesn't. But then after that, you got a guy like Jaylen Warren who's definitely going to run the rock. So he's out there. Also, a sneaky guy out there that's way deep that I don't want to spoil here. There is another one that runs the rock really well, and he actually had a really nice season. How in the fact this guy is ranked so lowly at tight end, mind-blowing. I think this is a guy that's easily a top 10, and I just have no clue how he's ranked stupid low. But there are a few tight ends that can run the rock, and that'll pick up some extra points for you as well.
Yeah, I just went and tried to go through the wide receiver core for the Colts. I mean, Alec Pierce has been banged up.
He's still hurt.
Westbrook Akine, it like every time there's potential and then it doesn't hit.
Yeah.
Laquan Treadwell is over there. Josh Downs. And then Ashton Doolin, who I don't even know who that is, and I feel terrible. But he had 5 catches last year.
Oh.
And he's nearly 30 years old. So, like...
It's a bad crew.
Tyler Warren might just get all the balls.
Yeah. He very, very might well. And he's solid, man. He could do it. Like, he just kind of has that toughness with how he plays. I really like the way that he could produce down the field. I think he's a great guy to play with. But even with that demand and even with defenses knowing that he's the guy, I think he still produces. Is he going to get touchdowns effectively, though? If that's the case, that's where I'm a little concerned.
Right. And that's the big one. I mean, Daniel Jones was having a pretty decent season. So who knows?
Also, going back to quarterback, Daniel Jones, you can, for whatever reason, virtually get him undrafted. And I have no idea why. That makes no sense to me.
Your guess is as good as mine on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I think Daniel Jones, to me, I would have him right around 12. I mean, Brock Purdy, Patrick Mahomes, again, Stafford doesn't run the ball, so I don't want him. Bo Nix, I'm not 100% behind. I think you really could get bigger overall production than Jordan Love, but Jordan Love can really throw the rock really nice too. That's about it. Other than that, every quarterback ahead, I would definitely take Daniel Jones ahead of everyone else that is listed after that. That's not worth mentioning.
Daniel Jones missed 4 games, and he was still at over 3,000 yards.
That's insane. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'll be honest. I would probably take Daniel Jones slightly out of the top 10 of quarterbacks.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I would take him over Justin Herbert, but that's just me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for me, the last one that I would take ahead of him, just because of consistency, and I know there's a little bit more diverse stuff going on offense, would be Brock Purdy. That'd be about it.
Yeah, just looking at his yards per game, Stafford, Goff, Prescott, May, Mahomes, Purdy, and that's it in front of him.
Yeah, that's about it, man. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Herbert's a weird one. I'm with you on that, man. I just can't really trust that guy at quarterback. And again, the guy that you compare him to is Jordan Love. Jordan Love is another one that it's like I like the guy when he's on, but when he's off, and again too, you don't get the running production. It's just really, really low value. And man, I just can't do it with Jordan Love either. So I see where you think that they're kind of in the same spot. But if I can get virtually undrafted, I can get Kyler Murray or Daniel Jones, or even in a way like he kind of runs, but is kind of crazy, but he kind of throws a lot of interceptions, is Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's down there too, man. And if he doesn't turn the ball over, I think Darnold's okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against Darnold. Like, it's just mind-blowing to me that there's so many quarterbacks that are just available. And a lot of the time you're getting guys based on their name.
Right. And there's guys, too, that are rookies that if they see real playing time, they could be real. Like, real.
You know who I'm excited about? Because he's like, he'd be even undrafted in our league. Malik Willis. I think Malik Willis could be a dude.
I think so too. The good thing too is the Dolphins will stink, so they have to throw the ball. They have to do something.
And he's got to run around, dump it off to A-Chain and go with it.
Exactly. And he's got one of the best quarterback draws out there in the league. The only downside is his offensive line. His offensive line is significantly worse than Green Bay's. That was my only concern with him. I do like Malik Willis in Miami.
Which means he might have to run the ball a lot more.
Yeah. I mean, my gut is telling me that this may sound weird, but I do think Miami is going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. And I really see next season, I think Arch Manning is going to be the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. I think
Totally.
Yeah. So that's kind of where my gut is. But down there, you got guys like Malik Willis, Baker Mayfield, Tyler Shuck, Kyler Murray. I think Stroud is garbage. I would not touch him. Darnold, to me, is kind of in that as well, but you got to kind of watch it. Fernando Mendoza has legs. We know that. Cam Ward, I would not touch at all. Do not touch Tennessee Titans players for the most part. But Daniel Jones, he can run. Bryce Young, I don't know. That's kind of what I'm seeing down there. And then the other weird thing too. Oh, who you got?
Real quick, I just went and looked at the Miami Dolphins because I was sitting here going, who is he throwing the ball to? And then I started trying to think who their tight end was. And I'm like, how about we play the game of metrics? Can you name that guy?
Greg Dulcich?
It is Greg Dulcich.
Hey, there we go. I like Greg Dulcich. I still wish he would have made something when he was with the Broncos because I think he's great.
Now, but here's my problem. No one's talked about Caleb Douglas, from Texas Tech, rookie. They got him in the 3rd round. He is probably their number 1 receiver.
Oh,
3rd round pick, right?
interesting.
Malik Washington, who's, just all over the place. Tutu Atwell and Jalen Tolbert are the other guy. Oh, and Jalen Rager.
Oh, okay.
Just a bunch of dudes,
Rager
right?
returns kicks, I believe, right?
He does.
Yeah. So depending if
Wink.
he has kick returning stuff, which ours does,
It does.
I would definitely be considering Jalen Rager then.
But I don't trust anybody on the Malik Washington. I feel like's been in the league 10 years, and he's only 25 years old.
Oh yeah. I don't know anything that guy's done.
But I feel like he's been on 100 teams, and he hasn't. He's only been on Miami. That's it.
Yes. Yeah. And the other thing too, when we're kind of looking down the pipeline of guys who might actually have some production like Malik Willis, if you need them in a pinch, Aaron Rodgers is down there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a sneaky play. That's a guy who's going to chuck the ball a lot, and McCarthy chucks the ball a lot.
Yeah.
They got a tough schedule. They're going to need Rodgers to do a lot. So, and here's the other thing too. This is where, again, there's a few quarterbacks out there that may not start initially, but at any point in time, if they become the starter, they become the guy. You could ride out your fantasy season with them. So the most obvious one is Fernando Mendoza. Beyond that, if anything happens to Stafford, you got Ty Simpson back there. I think Ty Simpson could be rock solid. If anything happens to Aaron Rodgers, what's his name? The backup from Penn State.
Drew Allen.
I've been all in on Drew Allen since he ripped his ACL at Penn State. I'm like, this is the guy. Whatever team gets Drew Allen, holy smokes, you're set. And then again, Arizona with Carson Beck. You got 4 guys there that, if they take over, they could do some really good things for their teams. And you literally have 0 draft equity going into any of them.
You want to get sneaky real quick? We can get real sneaky. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
So you brought up Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers was number 13 in touchdown passes.
Oh my gosh.
Last season.
Wow.
And it was a down year, right? Because people have been talking about he's been on a down year since forever. But now you have DK Metcalf and Michael Pittman Jr.
Oh,
that's 2 number 1 receivers, technically. Those guys are going to – they combined for 1,600 yards, 14 touchdowns or something like that. They're going to get yards and touchdowns. Rodgers is still throwing touchdowns. So that receiving core could actually help you in fantasy.
Yeah. You could definitely get that. Sneaky guy, too, that is getting better at tight end. Can definitely run the ball, too. You got Darnell Washington down there as well. You got him. You got Freiermuth down there. That's a nice core.
So this is the only problem I have with Darnell Washington right now, besides Pat Freiermuth. They got Rodgers' old buddy Bob Tunyon from the Packers.
Yes.
And he kind of lit it up during the first preseason game. So,
yes, oh, yeah, boy, that's interesting. So that's a sneaky, way off the board tight end that you could get. You could be like, okay, cool, round 9, round 10. Aaron Rodgers, round 9. Robert Tonyan, round 10. You could do some weird stuff.
You really could. So I'm just looking. I don't even DK Metcalf and Michael Pittman are in the 30s for being picked. How are they behind Carnell Tate, who we don't know if Mike Evans? Mike Evans is 3rd, 4th maybe in targets on that team. Right. Marvin Harrison Jr. we already talked about. We might be missing out on something here.
Yeah, you're definitely wow. Yeah, the fact that unless it's got to be something to do with his injury, DK Metcalf flying around 30, and wherever Michael Pittman is.
I got him at 31 and 32.
Yep. And you got Pittman at 40.
40? Wow.
Yeah. The other one, too, that, like, I don't know if it's just the fact that he just signed on to a new team, but he's a guy that for our league, I was initially looking at, like, possibly round 4, round 5, and how this guy's ranked in the 40s. I think it's a weird algorithm thing, because I think he would truly be ranked almost like 15th is Stephon Diggs for Washington. I think that's a phenomenal wide receiver that is clearly miles ahead of better than Romeo Dobbs. And for only Josh Downs to be ahead of him, I can't even tell you, like, when I've watched a game and Josh Downs has done anything ever.
Yeah.
Like, Stephon Diggs is a guy, like a real guy.
You don't know what's up with Jaden, and you don't know where Scary Terry's going to be either. So I can understand that a little bit.
But if that's,
I could see him as one of those like stash and hope something happens kind of guys.
True, but he runs beautiful routes.
Like, of course,
really beautiful routes. I would feel very confident drafting Stephon Diggs way late like that. I mean, we're looking at both Brian Thomas and Marvin Harrison ahead of Stephon Diggs. I mean, as much as I like Jacoby Myers, I can't put Jacoby Myers ahead of Stephon Diggs. That's crazy.
On the look I'm seeing here, like, he's in the same boat, or he's in the same path of Cortland Sutton, Christian Watson. Like, they have them all in that mid-30s. I'm going to take Christian Watson not even just being a Packer guy, but like, he could go off for 1,000 this year.
Yes, he could. And not only that, I mean, like, I like Rome Odunze, but I mean, Rome Odunze's toughness just kind of fell apart last season. I would like, I know if I got Christian Watson, like, he's doing big things, big things. So, I mean, I kind of feel like that's kind of around the low 20s. I think that's where really Stephon Diggs should be. And he should be closer to Terry McLaurin. Like, he should be. I just think there's going to be weeks where either Terry tees off or Diggs tees off. I think you're getting really good production out of those guys. I think those are two receivers that play for the same team that are going to have similar production. I think you have real stuff there. But again, too, like, if Jaden Daniels just kind of wusses out, then you're kind of stuck with both.
DJ Moore is also in the late 20s. So, like, that's another guy I would scoop that guy up right away.
Yes. I mean, boy, I'm seeing a lot of questionables next to, like, every wide receiver all of a sudden. But
like, think about this. If you set up your team, let's say you get Trey McBride and you just go nuts. You get Trey McBride in the first. You go and get a couple running backs in the second and maybe in the third. So your offense is set. You could still possibly get DK Metcalf, Michael Pittman, Stephon Diggs, Christian Watson, like, in later rounds. These guys are 30 and 40 ranked wide receivers. I mean, even if you wanted to go nuts and go get Malachi Lemon or somebody, like, he's going to be the number 2 over there. You could do well in the late rounds picking up wide receivers.
You could. Yes. And also, again, too, I mean, we're in a league where kick returners matter. I would also think about those kick returners as well. If I'm thinking about a certain wide receiver and I'm like, cool, I need them to, like, produce, then to me, you have to be a receiver that produces even more than a kick returner. Because if I got a receiver that is, like, legit starter plus returns kicks, that guy is miles ahead of just about everybody in the NFL.
Yeah.
Everybody. Like, I'm telling you, the only guys that I'm thinking of are, like, the Amon-Ra St. Browns, Justin Jeffersons, JSNs, Puka Nakuas, Jamar Chases. Those guys are on a whole nother planet. But then after that, I think it comes down to guys who play just a starting role and returning kicks. That's a sneaky group. So keep those guys in mind. But other than that, then yeah, I mean, I want a guy like a Christian Watson, or if he's healthy, an Alec Pierce, a Nico Collins kind of guy. I want the guys who like T. Higgins. You just know these guys can tee off and they're out there consistently. And outside of Christian Watson, like these are guys who stay healthy the majority of the season. So that's kind of like how I like to stack it. And if it's a guy too that I'm a little concerned about the health, and I'm a little concerned, like, can I keep up at wide receiver? Then I would definitely kind of lean into the tight ends, because again, you need your tight ends to score a touchdown. I need to know I can get a tight end that can score. And to me, one of the guys that I really like, because I just know he's a touchdown machine. And I think he had his second best season or his third best season ever. Devontae Adams. Like, there's a little bit of a hamstring worry that you got to think about, but Devontae Adams is a touchdown machine, virtually uncoverable at the goal line. He's a guy that I think you got to have like real serious value in. I like him. I put him up there with the other great wide receivers for the fact that he plays for a great football team. And when he gets there, like he's just like, he's for us, he's getting you 8 points. He's getting you at least 8 points. Plus yardage every single week. So those are the kind of questions I got to ask to my wide receivers is, can you get me a real touchdown? Can you get me real yardage as well? And if you can do those kind of things, then I'm not gonna play around with guys that I don't know, like Michael Wilson or actually I kind of like Jacoby Myers, obviously. Or like a Michael Pittman or a Josh Downs. Is like, they're just kind of weird. I need guys that can like deliver. They gotta deliver, and I think that's how you gotta play wide receivers. And generally too, like what we're seeing in leagues is you're not so constrained by playing so many wide receivers. So if that's the case, then get the ones you really know how they score and the ones you believe in. And to me, I really like that with slot guys. But I mean, shoot, if you're seeing a guy like a Stephon Diggs showing up in the 40s, I think that's crazy, man. I just think that's really, really crazy.
Yeah. So we're up against the hour. Any sneaky things you want to throw out there?
Yeah, I will tell you this. So we have our draft coming up, and I did one mock. And I did one mock last season, and this will be the pretty much only mock I'm doing this season. I think it's valuable to do generally just one mock, so that way you can really see like, okay, and again, I change my plans probably 24 times before I even
daily.
Exactly. So like, have your plan, and when you know you're right and you're kind of getting closer to your draft, do your draft, because then you're really going to feel like this is kind of really what my team's going to shape up to. But then when you see how the mock played out, that's where you can see like, oh, actually there was a slightly better player available, or I could actually kind of tweak this strategy to go like a round or two down to get guys up. So like, you kind of learn from your mock in a way. But again, I just don't think you want to do too many mocks. Otherwise, it's going to clutter your brain. It's going to clutter your strategy. But you want your game plan to be pretty consistent, regardless of doing any mocks whatsoever.
Solid.
One last thing I did with my mock is my mock actually drafted the LA Rams defense. And the more I think about it, the more I actually think I don't want that defense.
Oh.
That's debate.
That's debate.
I'm telling you, man, the Rams are a weird, interesting team. I know everyone wants to crown them the Super Bowl champs, but I think they have a ton of pressure on them, man. I think I don't know how we really want to, once we start picking teams to win divisions and whatnot. I don't know, man. And like, their schedule is brutal. The NFC West in general, it is a brutal schedule. And I don't know if in terms of fantasy, I want my defense playing a brutal schedule week in, week out. Like,
Agreed.
And when you get to the end of the season, do I want my team playing against good offenses as well? And you got to hope everything stays together. And like, I do like the backup quarterbacks for the Rams, but part of me just questions, like, is all this really going to hold up? It's a lot of hype. It's a lot of pressure. And they didn't win the Super Bowl. The Seahawks won the Super Bowl. And it kind of almost feels like they're playing with house money. Like, I just think Seattle is going to play looser, and that's something that I would kind of keep tabs on. And I almost feel better with certain Seahawks than I do with Rams. And I took the defense, and I should be feeling great. And once I looked at it, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to go with the defense that I actually really did enjoy going into the season. And now when we actually do our real draft, and again, that was all for testing, I think I'm actually going to go with the team that I truly do think has things lining up right, a good defense, good offense, and a very comfortable schedule as well. I think if you get those, you're set.
We know that's not the LA Chargers.
That's not the LA Chargers. Like, do not touch Chargers defense for that. I mean, you're asking for a lot. I mean, there are some teams out there that are just enigmas. They might actually be one of those, and that might be a team that actually burns you pretty hard.
Yeah, I'm down with that. Hey, really quick, the WNBA is almost getting to that wrap-up stage. Man, we've got teams that have already been in the playoffs or clinched their playoff runs. Here's the craziest part. There are 6 teams right now that I've looked up recently. 6 teams that have won 7 or 8 games or 9 in their last 10. Like, there's a ton of teams that are on fire getting down to that wire. And on top of that, the battle is always Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. They're the 2 top teams in the Eastern Conference right now, which I think is kind of cool.
Wow, that is pretty cool. Yeah. Got something going on there with Indiana and Atlanta, so that's pretty neat.
Yeah, and of course you gotta pick up the New Yorks, the Vegas, Minnesota. Like, I try to tell people Minnesota is going to be fire. Like,
oh yeah.
They've got some guard play over there that's insane. And then here's the one thing that's bothering me more and more about the WNBA and the NHL and leagues like that are bringing in expansion teams. They're all winning, like, right away. The Golden State Valkyries are the number 2 team in the West. Whoa. Obviously, the Vegas Knights won the chip. Like, it's crazy what's happening because the Charlotte Bobcats were horrible. I don't think they ever made the playoffs.
No.
But that even goes back to the NFL when Carolina and Jacksonville came in right away. They were like playoff teams. They were. Mark Brunell and like Chris Winkies and all those guys.
Exactly. Yeah. So it is kind of interesting how expansion can work really, really, really well for certain franchises and just terribly for others. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of expansion coming down the lines in the WNBA. The NFL is really, really doing its due diligence to figure out the 4 cities they want to go to, because they will go from 32 to 36.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of when and where and how. And I think they're really trying to figure out these logistics, figure out what cities kind of work out best logistically. And I just think, too, that they're going to learn a lot about this Australia game. And I don't know, man. Like, it seems like Aaron Donald is very diligent about saying, I'm not going to Australia. So,
hey, man, you just got back in the league. You can't tell us what to do.
Exactly. So I'm sticking by the sneaky pick that he does not sign with LA until after week 1.
Solid.
So,
yeah. Sorry to put a bow on the WNBA. They did retire DT's number 3, and probably the coolest retirement ceremony I've ever seen.
Oh, wow.
She played for 20 years, I think, or something like that. They brought a different, the Russian thing. I always tell people about that story and they don't believe me. Like, she just boycotted and was like, yeah, I'm good. Like, and still ends up being one of the GOATs. Yeah. They paid her to just stay home, which was great. They had a different representative because it was a player. There were coaches, there were assistant coaches, GMs. They had a different representative for each year of her existence in the league, which I thought was dope. So they all came out with one flower. You know how they say give this person their flowers. Yeah. I was like, this is really cool.
That is pretty slick. Yeah, I mean, for me to date, because we now have this new golden age generation that's playing now. I think for at least our lifetime, I view Diana Taurasi as the greatest female WNBA player to date, at least for us. What she did from Connecticut to retirement was insane.
I'm biased because my favorite player is Sue Bird. So
okay, yeah.
I mean, one or two.
Sure. Totally. Yeah. So no, that's super cool. Pretty good stuff. Yeah, there you go, man. So I think we got a pretty good show for tonight. Next week we'll see how things shake up for our league. We have a draft on Sunday. We can talk about the results on Monday. And again, too, I mean, yeah, know your league scoring. Know your league's value at certain positions. That's the key to your fantasy drafts. If you understand what positions are incredibly valuable, which ones are not, and how certain players can score, that's how you get set up for really good success, I think. So that's it, man. I'm Steve Metrics. That's your boy,
DJ Triggs.
And that's No Debate. Boom.